Hello, good evening. Welcome back to Maiden Marsh Needlework. My name is Lindsay, and we're here for a Flossmas update. This is Jadzia. She's the best girl ever. All right, so we've been working on Holiday Horse by Satsuma Street, and she poked herself with the needle. You okay? She's fine. Okay. All of the stitching, the cross stitching is complete, and we are gonna work on beading, and this will be finished tonight. So let me show you how I bead. Okay, so I don't know if you've ever heard of a tacky bill, but it's like a CD case that opens up that's sticky, and what you can do is you can get a tin case. This is a gift card tin, and any tin case will work. I also have an Altoids tin that I've done this with, and you put double-sided sticky tape on the bottom, and then you have your own homemade tacky bill. Since it's tin, you can put a needle or a needle minder on it, and we like to leave our beading needles right there so you have them. So this is a tool I like to use when beading. All right, I have my needle here that is threaded, and I will tie it off on the back. So we'll tie it off just like I would tie off a normal cross stitch. And we're going to come up from the bottom, and then from there you go into the tin or the tacky bill, whatever you have, to grab your bead that you'll be using with your needle. And back down on the opposite corner. And then we'll just keep doing that, and use the right color. Another thing I do occasionally, not all the time, it helps the bead stay tighter, is I'll come back up on, like, as if you're doing the cross, as if you're doing a full X, but you can split your threads to go one thread on one side, the other thread on the other side, and then back down on the top hole. Yeah, and that can hold it tighter so it doesn't go anywhere, and also gives you a full X. So as far as the thread color, since this is a Satsuma Street, they gave me instructions on which color thread to use for which beads. So this one says attach beads on main and tail with 2 strands DMC 3799, and then it says to attach all the other beads with 2 strands of the white floss. And they also give an instruction on how to attach the beads. The only difference what I do is I add that second leg to the stitch just to hold it on a little bit tighter and give it a little more full coverage with the floss. Now, if your pattern does not give you instructions on the beading and you're not sure what floss color to use, you can do multiple ways. You can use the color closest to the colors you're around. So right here, I'm next to the gray color, so I'm going to use the gray floss. You could also use a floss that matches your fabric, whatever your fabric color is. And then you could also use, there's different ones. One of the ones I use is it's called Nymo. I bought a roll of Nymo floss years and years ago, and I still have it. That's what I use on if I'm going between different colors and there's a lot of beading, like on a Mirabilia, and it's clear, so it's like almost like a fishing wire. It's a clear color, so it can go on any fabric, next to any floss. I've tried both ways of beading while stitching. I've done that several times, and I've done where you do all the stitching and then you come back and finish the beading like I'm doing right here. I don't actually have a preference on something small like this. Either way works, and when I'm doing it that way and beading while stitching, I just use whatever floss I'm using at the time I get to that bead, right? So you can do a cross stitch, and then a bead, and then a cross stitch, and that works too. And then if I'm doing like a big project like a Mirabilia, I don't want to bead as I go, because if it doesn't all fit in one frame, like a Q-snap or whatever frame you're using, if it doesn't all fit, you don't want the Q-snap to be hitting your beads, right? It could smash them or make them. I have a project where I did that, and it's really frustrating, so I try not to do that anymore. But if it's small enough that it just fits in one Q-snap, and you're not going to be moving the Q-snap or the frame, then I don't see any problem with beading as you go with the stitching. So it's really just a personal preference, and then more than a personal preference, for me, it's a project preference. Like, okay, what am I doing with this, and what's going to be holding the project the whole time? Is this a project that's going to last me? I'm not going to finish it for 10 years. Maybe I should not bead till the end, just so they don't get damaged, etc. So if you want, tell me how you prefer to bead as you go or all at the end. Tell me what technique you use, and I hope you're having a happy holiday. Bye.